started pretty much on time. And so first of all, I'd like to welcome all the Community Advisory Committee members and the West End SELPA staff and all the cast of parents and new members that we don't have, but you know, we'd love to have them, but anyway. Let's go ahead and get started. This is the second meeting of this school year. And for introductions, I'm not going to go around and have everybody introduce themselves again. However, we did have a couple of people that weren't here last time, so I would like to have you tell us a little bit about yourself. And I know we have a guest here, and I'll let you also introduce yourself. So first, come.
I'm a parent, child in Chino Valley School District. I've been involved in the school for many years. We have been able to accomplish many things, but as everybody knows, there's long ways to go. And that's why we're all here to help us get there and to do it better. Thank you.
And I'll say your name right next time.
That's okay.
And my name is a tricky one too, because it should say with an A.
With an accent.
Yes, yeah. No, my name is Anna Inglesrud. I'm actually the new director for Chino Valley Unified School District, and I'm here just to say hi and kind of see what's going on. I was invited by our parent rep, and I'm excited. I've only been in the position for less than a month. Had a lot of fun. I came from the district as a teacher and went through the ranks and was a program specialist and a coordinator now, our new director. So it's exciting to be here and nice to meet all here.
And we have a new member to the committee, and this is our first meeting. So,
Yes.
Gloria?
And my name is Gloria Van Dorp, and I am a fifth grader at Lawrence Elementary School. And I basically need to see CAC and just try to get the hang of it. And hopefully, I can do good things.
And we're really here for the special ed parents, the special ed community, the school districts that have special ed students. And if we can help with publicity, with education, with information about programs and services, that's what we want to do. And that's really the purpose of this committee, is to have the input of parents, have the input of community members, and see what we can do to help. At least that's this committee and we do. Okay, review of the agenda. If you look at the agenda, and then I'll entertain a motion and a second. Does everyone have an agenda? Let's make sure. Okay.
Just on notifications, there is a handout provided. State that.
Do we have a second? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Okay, let's look at the minutes from our last meeting, and I'll give you a few minutes to look them over. And again, then I'll entertain a motion and a second. Aye.
Really? Okay.
do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Budget.
I just have one question.
Can I have a second?
I'll
Is
second.
there- Okay, second. Okay, now discussion and additions, deletions, or corrections? No, I'm just gonna do that with all, so we just discussed the item that we're talking about, but,
Oh, okay.
okay.
I didn't know if it would fall in the minutes. I made actually a request of looking into our school districts who don't have and have not had representatives for a while. I didn't know that was supposed to be.
And I was
in the
going to
minutes.
talk about that in my.
Oh, okay.
I think that's going to ultimately fall under non-committee.
Right, but I thought it would be on the minutes that it has been a concern and it has been actually mentioned a couple of times at our meetings. And so my question is, it's been a while, and I feel that we need to have it. I'm concerned that the districts don't have representation, and they should, as we all do, for our districts
Well, and we're gonna find out that
also.
they're already doing some things, and she'll report on that. And then the committee, that's one of their tasks. So we're gonna go at it from two different directions. Any other discussion items? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, let's review the members' attendance.
I am here. Russell, you are, and Christy here as well. Edith, thanks for coming. Appointed and present this last month, she wasn't in yet. Marcel has resigned, unfortunately, is not here. Donna, I have not heard from Donna. Have you?
I saw her. I thought she was here early before I did.
Okay, but
I don't know why she did talk.
I didn't hear from her or Nicole. And, this is, thanks for coming. And, Gloria is in, and Mo called and said she's running late today or late or not sure. Perfect. And,
Yeah, I'd just like to make a comment about Dr. Soriano. He has a private practice. He teaches it in the Cal State system, and sometimes his classes conflict. He's just written a book, and now he's a consultant for some big project. And so he just felt that it wasn't fair to not be able to come and to still be on the committee. So just got an email from him. Yes.
I have a question. So I didn't see Nicole on the press. Did she resign from teacher?
Yes.
She resigned already? So that means we have two teachers spots open, is that right? Or something?
yeah, the other way.
Okay, review of parking lot. I don't think that we have any items.
The one item really looked to what we're going to discuss during the agenda.
Are there any district reports? Anything that you want to say about your district? And let me just say that this is not formal. I mean, you could be formal if you want and have a formal report, but I'll just bring this up every time, and if there's something that you want to say about your district, in terms of special ed program or what's going on with the core curriculum that affects special ed or whatever, just feel free. It can be a little report. It doesn't have to be a big fancy report. We'd love to know about it. So, yes, good.
I would like to announce that actually as we speak, we're having the ceremony at Ontario High School for the student of our new building, which will be about 35 classrooms, which we have portables for so many years. And I am so excited because that's, happening now. So I just think it's going to be a wonderful thing for our students to, take something they truly deserve. And then second, I also want to congratulate Mr. Robinson at Ontario High School for having the highest scores in honors geometry, honors calculus, and honors calculus through the whole Chieftain District. Ontario High got the first place in highest scores. And we have had some of our, special ed kids in those general ed classes and basics. And the amazing teacher, I just met him, and I just think it's great to honor somebody just like him, in those teachers. So I'm just happy, and I'm also looking forward to having our common core
presentation, since I already see how it's kind of affecting my own child in a harder way, but at the same time, it will be a good way. So I'm really looking forward to that presentation. That's all.
And I am too, looking
I was
forward to
going
it.
to bring up that at Central, we're going to have a common core presentation on Thursday at 6:30 in the district office. And I've already had a couple of people from different districts contact me that they want to come, and I'm sure that, you know, it's open to anybody. And if parents want that information, so it would be good to attend.
Is it Common Core and Special Ed, or it's Common
No,
Core?
just common core generally, but, you know, special ed, so definitely.
Yes, sure.
Yesterday, we had our first, or at least the one that I attended first. It was the meet and greet for our special ed, and Karen got to be there, and I thought it was successful. It was really nice out there. Yeah, it was really nice. We had a lot of parents show up, and basically, I brought some stuff from there. I don't know if I could share this. We have a new director, Mr. Greg Alexander, and he really set it up really nice where people, if they have questions, they know who to go. If you are under this school, this is who's going to be your representative, kind of thing. It was really nice.
Our table was very busy.
Yeah, it was very busy. And they even passed out these little brochures. If you guys want to kind of take a look at that, I thought it was really neat. In our table, I noticed, I don't know if Karen can maybe say something to this too, but we had a couple of parents come up and ask about what kind of resources does WESELPA have for young adults, like 20, 21, 22, 23, that are just, you know, they don't have a job and just stay, they're at home, that, you know, they don't go to school. And so that was the question that came up, and we were, I think it was, is it Lowell?
Lloyd Resnick, our program specialist, was there too, helping us out. And I've already put some notes to our transition department to see if they can get us, develop a list of, I know it's a real tough age, but to get this resource so we can pass it on. I'd be more knowledgeable on that end of it too.
And I would like to encourage you to let us know, let everybody know about positive things that are happening. If we need to work on problems, fine, let's work on problems. But let's also bring the very positive things to this committee and let us know about the positive things. There are a lot of positive things that are going on. And let me tell you, the Common Core is a major, major change. And the thing is, the transitioning will be different in different places. For example, we have to go into a high school district, and they're starting already, and I'm not going to mention the district. It's a district that's actually, it's not involved here in this committee, but one district they're starting kind of haphazardly in it. And the kids they're not going to have the normal sequence of algebra and geometry. And so in that district, they're not offering geometry. So the kids in the advanced have to take 2 years of algebra. And then they're going to go into a specialized integrated program at the high school. And yeah, it's going to be a real, I just want to let you know, because for all of us that are parents or grandparents, there's going to be a really big change in the curriculum and how it's presented and what it looks like. And we'll all be, and the testing is crazy. You have kind of a choice. You can go one direction with testing, and I'm sure we'll find out about all this in that presentation this year. So some districts are going into the new testing. Some districts are staying with the old testing. It's going to be very, very, very interesting. And you know what? I'm glad I'm retired. I really, yesterday I was going through all this stuff, and I was glad I'm
Well,
retired.
your comment is interesting about math, because today I was at a cabinet meeting and Dr. Gary Thomas was saying that Dr. Tomas Morales from Cal State University San Bernardino, actually this last week, said kids' success in going to college is really correlated to what highest level of math they've taken. And if they only take algebra, it's about 7%
It's true.
that go into college.
The one single factor that's related to success is that. So single most important factor.
I just wanted to say about Chino Valley. Actually, I will let Anna speak about the very successful counseling program that's behavior management program that's been very in the works. And then from next time I'll bring you the story. But now that you hear it from you.
Well, what happened, and I don't know how much you guys have talked about in this forum, that with the mental health money that was released and the changes, we as a district decided to kind of write our own program. So we have a counseling component and we have a behavior intervention type of program. Both of them kind of falling under the same umbrella. But we have hired, right now we have a coordinator, we have 5 counselors hired, and we are also moving forward. We have a BCBA hopefully approved at our next board meeting. So we are excited about that. We are able to offer some support in our schools that we are excited about. And I also, on the same note, wanted to talk about the trainings that we have completed already for all of our staff and administrators for the new SACE forms, the new wonderful IEP forms. So we have done that. We have trained over 200 teachers, all of our DIS providers, and worked hard as a team to get that up and running. So teachers were ready. So some of the highlights of what's been happening.
Great, thank you.
Any more? Now Susan said that I better have everyone at least give their name and the district that they're from, so
So I would suggest
yeah.
for a new.
No, she said you couldn't now.
I'm Sharon Golden, parent from Councilwoman School District. Kumkuba Koji from the Chino Valley Unified School District.
And Anna Inglesrud, I'm the director for Chino Valley Unified School District, and I was invited here today by Kingdom, so you won't probably see me too often.
Right. Thank you, we appreciate it.
Principal Liberty Parent Board Trustee in Central.
Gloria Van Dorp, parent at Valencia Elementary.
Edith Naranjo, parent at Chasey District High School.
Donna Waters, assistant principal at Etiwanda.
This is Jim Parent at Olin State.
Karen Johnson, employee of WESELPA.
Susan Ballard, the administrative director.
And I'm Russ Percy. I'm a grandparent of 2, one at Ruth Musser in the Central School District and one at Doña Merced in the Central School District. Now I have 3 people. Last time I told too much about this. So, okay.
And we have a translator.
And oh yes, we have a translator. Yeah.
Hello everyone.
And nobody, I'm sorry.
Oh,
but-
that's okay. I'm glad to listen to this conversation. It's very interesting. My name is Lorena Weg, so I'm here just to interpret for the Spanish speaker. So I'm glad to be here. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now the WESELPA administrators report.
Yeah, and then one handout that will go along with my report is your V1 in your packet. The page looks like this with all the columns and funding amounts.
Is this the report?
Oh, there is no.
So first of all, I am just so excited that we have so many new and enthusiastic members. I'm just really anticipating a great year for our CAC. Tomorrow I'll be going to State SELPA, and I don't have a report from State SELPA because we didn't meet in August. And so I'll find out whatever is new and coming from the State Department of Education. As far as I know, all of your school years are off to a really great start. Here at the SELPA, we are nearly fully funded. We had 3 new counselors that started with us last week. By the coordinator position that we posted for counselors has closed, and we're waiting for them to screen the applications, and then we'll be doing interviews. Program specialist interviews are coming up, so we'll be filling that 1 slot that we have vacant for a program specialist. And in the meantime, our staff is having to do kind of double duty, so they'll be glad when that position is filled. And we have a new secretary, we call them office specialist too, for our vocational team, and her name is Inez Klochinsky. She worked in fingerprinting, I guess, here at the county at one point, and is now with us. And Alma Morales, who was our OS2 for the vocational team, had decided to go work with mental health. So we have her in our department, but under a different program. As you know, last time I said our big project for the year will be to revise our local plan. And Christy volunteered for the local plan and ledge committee, so she will get a wonderful opportunity opportunity to sit with us, but it looked like she was very excited about that last time. So I have since developed a timeline, and we know right now who a lot of our members are of that group, and we will be starting into that process on September 24th. I'll be sharing with the superintendent September 27th more about what that's all going to look like. Our new fiscal analyst that you met last time, Tim, at the same time will be working on a new fiscal allocation plan, because a local plan has the local plan document, then two separate documents by law, the fiscal allocation plan, and that has to be approved by the superintendent to be current for the county or the state to distribute the money to us, because we have to flow it out according to what our fiscal allocation plan is. And then the other piece is our policy and procedure. So we think if we get the local plan done this year, and then the fiscal allocation plan done this year, next year we will want to do policies and procedures. So in 2 years, we will have gone through a cycle of all of it. So that will really make a difference for us. What you have in front of you, you've heard me talk a lot about how the governor changed a lot of the special ed funding for this year, and Tim explains a bit before you asked him also. The superintendents will be getting a full set of the budget spreadsheets, but I didn't think you wanted all 30 some odd pages. So this is what we're calling the executive summary, and I'm willing to go into as much detail to explain this to you as you would like, but you can see that if you go across for your particular district under each of these columns, and then you follow it all the way down to the second row, the last column, that tells you how much special ed funding will be coming to the district. So basically, we look at prior year 88, that's average daily attendance, and that's for all students in your district. So we have about 116,000 students across our 10 districts in the county program. And so that's the basis for deciding how much will go to each district, because it's a per student funding. Then you have the current year. Then we look at how much did we grow or decline, because the state taxes that in how they send us the money. And then we look at what they gave us for 8602 funding, and we send that out according to the number of students in the district. And then the WESELPA keeps low incidence money. Remember, that's for the students that are deaf, blind, severely orthopedically impaired, or visually impaired. And so we receive, I think it's $330 per student that has a low incidence disability. And we use that for low incidence equipment. So the deaf student needs an FM system to be able to hear the teacher, or if a blind student needs a braille machine or whatever, that's where we begin to pay for that type of equipment. Then the state used to provide a line item for program specialists regionalized services, and that was the funding designated to run a sub. Well, last year, remember, we were concerned the governor was going to roll all that money right into base funding. So last May, at the superintendent's meeting, I asked them, could they please continue to find out what's going on to fund us at the same level? Because going into the end of the year, our last meeting was May 31st, the governor hadn't finalized his budget. We didn't know which way it was going to go. So they agreed for this first year how it works out. Because some things you do by people count and some things you do by individual rate. It causes a tiny bit of fluctuation in how much each district is spending per student. But if you look, we're just about at 511 per student across the site. So then you try those numbers down below, and you look at the fee for service. And that is different fee for services from programs that, like OMSD provides individualized service, that sometimes they know other students that take part in that program, or county programs, if a student is in a county program, or our mental health program provided by WESELPA. So that's all in another sheet of those 30 pages. This is the summary. Then you take away all of those things that a district is paying out to have other people provide for their students. Then you have Mount Baldy that has 113 students, I hope, somewhere around there. It's a tiny, tiny number. I mean, you're that small, and you could say half to send students to non-public school or to a county program, or you have a lot of mental health services or whatever. You end up with a negative at the end of the day. And so in order to protect those small districts, they have instituted what they call a small school protection plan. So each of the districts has a little bit taken away, you can see, to provide Mount Baldy some money. Then there's the adjusted apportionment with all those changes. And then we get county property tax that's given to us just for special ed students. And so in our county, they have decided that that goes to the county programs to offset the cost for the homes for the senior kids. So by putting all the property taxes there, it brings down the amount that each district has to pay for those students who are in the severe programs. Then we have the federal dollars, and that's about $18 million. And we know this year our amount of federal dollars has been reduced because if you heard the president talk about sequestration or other people on TV, and we don't know if it's really going to pan out, but what we've done is we deducted 5% because that's what we're anticipating it will be. And so then at the end of the day, you add that in to that adjusted amount, and that's how you get the final amount that is going to be. And this is projections, because nothing will be finalized until we get what's called our P1 report on actual numbers for attendance and everything else in February. Okay, so I hope that simple overview helps to explain a little bit. If you want more information, you know, we have more for you. Just wanted to share a few other things. The Daily Foodie, our program manager, Tim Chapku, our fiscal analyst, and myself have committed to visiting the superintendent, the special ed director, and the fiscal person for each district at least twice this year. And so at this point, visit number 1, we have been to 6 of the districts. We've been everywhere except Chino, Mount Baldy, Mountain View, and Orange. And so we hope to do that. And it's been really good. We've taken them some data about how many students they have in placement, some data which maybe I should bring to you in our November meeting about how many students we have in different disability categories over the past 4 years. And I want to say this number sticks out to me. 4 years ago we had 90 students, 93 some odd with autism, and now we have 14. So when you think about all the challenges, to be able to have the services available and everything else, the districts have really helped to put a lot of things in place in a very short period of time. We also have an increase in the number of students with emotional disturbance, and the third one was other health disorders. Specific learning disability has gone down, and that's good news, because those are our kids with minor learning disabilities, and lots of times they can provide lots of interventions in the general program. forms you're going to see on your IEPs this year. And it's the same setup that we did last year with the old forms where we had little hints on what's supposed to be on those forms. We're just taking the basic forms you'll find on every IEP, and you'll get a CD and you walk away that way. So we think that'll be helpful. And in January, somebody had said we can go into our common core state standards in special ed. I'm really excited. We have a project that's going on. Our program specialists are presenting the special ed part, and the county ESS, Educational Services, is presenting the common core from the general ed perspective. And so they'll give you an overview of that whole training. So they'll talk about English language arts, math, the accommodations and modifications, English learners, the testing, all the testing things in place. And so I think that everybody will really benefit from that night. And then I had family, we've already talked about it, but I want to give a shout out to Liz and OMSD because Karen came back and said that Susan is fantastic with it, and we had this morning parents show up in a day. That's just amazing, and I'll be there next week, so I'm going to
I think it was the cheese one.
She doesn't wear it.
Did Karen bring it?
No, it was all the food overhanging.
Oh, wait,
I had something to draw the hairs and
Yeah.
He always does that.
No, but I think that people could learn a lot from that whole setup that you were talking about that you guys did. I think that would be fabulous, and somebody from the couple will make sure we can always come if you do something similar. So thank you to all of you.
Susan, I have a question, if I may.
Sure.
You mentioned that you have visited the districts and you have given this. Could you give them the information on the numbers, like the example you gave us on the increase of number of students with autism as opposed to a few years back? Did you give them that information to the district? Or
Yes.
They have all that? Okay.
Yes, the special ed director, the fiscal person, and the superintendent each received a copy.
Oh, okay. I can get a copy of that too, if I ask, would I ask you, or that can it possible?
Yeah, or I can give you parts of it too.
Just mainly the increase, which explains a lot.
I can just send that summary page out probably.
I just think that it explains very well the reasons for the need of the funds. Yes, the enrollment has decreased tremendously, but yet the increase of services and children with, algebra now has increased. I don't know, that's part of it. So that explains the need of more funding.
And also, Edith, that she's going around the districts that don't have representatives on this committee. She's also trying to get them to appoint someone.
So Cucamonga is very enthusiastic. They even have some ideas right there at the table of who they're going to try to encourage to serve. And they thought they had a general teacher too, so that would be very fantastic.
I have a question too about, you mentioned that in your summary to superintendent, special ed director, and fiscal person that you discussed placements. What was the rationale behind that? I guess the intention from discussing it.
Because in our database, we have data showing how, I wanted them to see trends of who they have across the board in county programs, public school programs, and different types of other programs, because sometimes, like, I'll give you an example. I sign up for a lot of things, but I never get the big picture. So I just wanted them to see the big picture over time, how we're trending too. So that was the reason. Yeah, just to take a look at, like, here's where we are right now.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
My report is very short. At the last meeting, I went over my objectives for the year, and I won't go over those again, but I think, Gloria, I gave you a copy, and I think, and anyone else need a copy of the objectives? You bet. Anyone else? And at the next business meeting, I'll give you a report on the status of the selection process for the public agency representative, okay? So the executive committee will meet and we'll set up a timeline and then bring it back to this committee. I'll give you a report in November. So that's it. Now it's time for the public comment. Do we have any public comment?
Did you need to? No, you can
Okay.
not right now, thank you.
Okay.
Just let me listen a little.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Let's go on then to discussion items. And the first item is a legal opinion on the standing committee versus work groups or subcommittees or whatever we want to call the other groups.
So as you requested, I obtained a legal opinion, and I'll read you verbatim what was sent to me. Under the Brown Act, the legislative body and any standing committees are Brown Act covered. Ad hoc committees made up of less than a quorum of the legislative body are not covered by Brown Act. An ad hoc committee is a closed meeting that does not require publication. It cannot make any final decisions, only make recommendations to the legislative body. If the ad hoc is made up of a quorum of the legislative body, then it would be covered by Brown Act. So if you have an ad hoc committee made up of less than a quorum of the legislative body, then it is not covered by Brown Act. I would recommend that any ad hoc committee that is not covered by the Brown Act restrict its meeting to the members of the ad hoc committee, only to avoid any inadvertent violation of the Brown Act by additional members of the legislative bodies present. So basically, in layman's terms, what that's saying is if your subcommittee wants to meet and you don't have a quorum of this entire body, then you don't agendize it, you don't post it, you just meet, you do your work, bring it back, the recommendations, because you can't make any decisions. Bring it back and we'll move.
And what is the quorum?
4.
But
Four.
it's changing.
I know.
Yeah, but right now it's 4.
Okay.
Or less than
Is
four.
it?
It has to be less than 4. Less than 4. And just let me make a few comments. For example, last year, we had a committee that had a survey that they needed to put together. It was very common, but almost impossible to have an open community when you're, trying to put together a survey. 2 or 3 people could do it. Well, we couldn't do that. So what happened? The chairperson had to do the whole thing themselves. And it took a long time. And then what did she do? She brought it back to her committee. And with all the Brown Act specifications. And that's getting input, it's doing working committees. So right now, at this point, don't have more than 4 on a working committee. For example, let's say that you're working on a resource guide, and you have things that you need to put together. You can have 3 members, and I'll go over the committee membership in a minute. You can have 3 members work on that, and then bring it back to the whole committee. It always comes back to the whole committee, and then you do all Brown Act regulations on it. So you get community input, you get your work done, you get community input, and then it still comes back here. Okay, and you have more community input if it's appropriate. So we're trying to cover all, and this is from county council. This is our authority. And so if somebody, doesn't like it, they can go sue the county council. But the fact is, let me tell you something, and this should have clicked with me. I've only worked with boards. I sat on, they need to go to all the board meetings. I was an assistant superintendent of instruction, associate superintendent. And they do that with the board. You can't have more than the number of board members. They can work on things. They can go to things. But if you get over a certain number, then it is a Brown Act, and you have to go through all that stuff. So if you're working on a project, first of all, you'll have your committees. You meet, Brown Act, decide what you want to do, and then if you want to have a subcommittee of that committee of no more than 3 people work on something and bring it back to the committee, that's perfectly all right.
I think our numbers are different now, because with Marcia Marcel no longer.
It's 7 and 4, and 4 it would
We
be,
have 6 because our ex officios aren't voting members,
I know I counted.
so they're not counted in that.
Right.
6 and 50% would be 3, so if you have 3, you have a quorum, so you have to have 2 yes at this point. Right, and then it,
That's, yes, 7.
And I'm sure Ed Wanda will name somebody new.
so mine fluctuates and calls when we know. Make sure
But
that
as of
we keep
this,
track of
but
that.
as of this
1,
meeting is
2,
because of the number we have this month is, right?
3 is a 2.
6.
3 makes a
Seven.
quorum, you can't have a
That's
quorum
4.
with an ad hoc.
But if I come to your meeting, I don't count, so.
You have to come.
You're
out
good.
there. No, you have to come.
They're not voting
Because I'm
members.
not a voting part.
Wow.
Not getting out there.
I'm a free pass, I'm free play. Let me see
Yeah,
cards.
use 4 is the number, because I'm a
I know, now what committee is this?
Okay, let's go on while they're figuring out numbers. Let's go on with the,
Yeah, I didn't have to go, I was going on last minute. Oh, appointed yet.
But we're still got Shaq.
I know.
So 3.
Yeah. Good. You have 2.
I don't get a vote, but I'm part of the committee. Part of the-
Donna counts.
Mhm.
Nicole. Nicole's out. Elizabeth.
Yeah, that's right, 7.
That's that one.
So 4. That's correct. You can have 3. So the number is still, let me say it again, the number is 4. If you have 4, you have to have Brown Act, okay? 4. You can have 3 in ad hoc or working committees, okay? Okay, let's go on to the committees, and we put the committees together and put names based on the sheets that you gave us last time. Now, Gloria, and I was going to say her name. Cuckoo. Yes. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No, but I think the important thing, yeah, but I think the important thing is if you get on a committee, you want to.
You can't take her, I got
She's
it.
right next to me.
Okay, first of all, there's already a change. On the first committee is Sharon and okay, they're co-chairs.
I told you right there, see? She ended up being a couple too. Yes.
All right. Now, is there anyone else that either wants to be on the Public Information and Membership Committee or doesn't want to be?
Well, that will be a choice to take.
No. Let me.
Because I did last time, I put 1, 2, 3, 4, so you see the numbers by my name?
Yeah,
That was my first choice, second, because I'm like, why are those numbers by my name?
That's
That's why.
Okay.
Because I misunderstood.
Now
I just
obvious
didn't-
I'm your fourth choice.
I'm sorry.
Okay, but let me clarify. These are the standing committees. When you meet with these committees, it has to be Brown Act. So it can have 4, 5, it doesn't matter. These are standing committees. These are Brown Act committees, okay? So you can have more than, no, that's fine.
Okay, so these standing committees are Brown Act. Now, the ad hoc committees, are we going to that later?
No, that's the chairperson's responsibility
Oh, okay.
as you're working on projects, or the committees.
They might be-
That's however you want to run your committees.
You and the chair will meet.
That's right.
Panel and then bring back to the standing.
Correct. Okay, let's see, anybody else? So you want to stay on that, or you want to?
I usually can't attend the meetings in my session, but
My name could be anywhere you want.
Well, no, but that's, yeah, just a minute, Gloria, but that's important, because if it is a Brown Act, and their meeting is Brown Act, they have to have a certain number. That's right, okay, so I'm gonna take you off. Now, let's say, another problem before, yes, let me clarify this while I'm thinking. If you call a Brown Act committee meeting, and this was a problem, and you don't get enough people to show up, you know, they have to just go home. You can still work as a ad hoc committee. You can't make final decisions, but you can stay there and work, and then when you get enough to meet with the committee, you bring the work back to the committee, and then you bring it to this committee. Yes.
I hear you saying Angela make decisions. Now, we never make decisions in these committees.
Oh, okay.
Is it, so it's any
Oh, let me tell you an example of that. Let's say you were doing a timeline, okay? You might have 2 or 3 people do the timeline and rough it up. And then you bring it back to the total committee, meeting as a Brown Act committee, to get their approval, and or suggestions, and or input.
Right, so we never make final decisions. We
There
don't have to
absolutely
go
were final decisions made. Because you guys said that we ran out of time, we didn't bring it to committee, so we planned it, this is what it's gonna be.
But we did vote at the CAC meeting when everybody was there, we presented it to them and everybody had a
And that's the
vote.
other
And that was
Right.
where
And that's another option. That's okay.
I'm a little confused.
Right, I'm
If we have an ad hoc meeting,
Yeah.
we then still have to have a standing committee also?
Well,
You say we have to have two?
Seems
No.
to me you could send whatever to the chair
Sure.
and say, would you take this?
Sure.
So if we have an ad hoc meeting for mine to develop the resources and so on,
Right.
it shows how that would, we can get the plan, the suggestions, and all together, and then bring it to Steve.
Yes.
So we don't have to have a standard meeting.
Either one.
Either one.
Either one.
Bring it to CC and then.
Either one.
So if you have 4 people, then it's considered a Brown. But if you only have 3 people, it's just considered an ad hoc. But
That's right.
as a Brown committee, you can make the final decisions, but we still bring it here.
We always bring it here.
Exactly, the standard.
That's right.
The Brown
Or
board, the
you
standard.
have to have a 10 to 72 hours in
Oh,
advance.
Right.
So if you know that we're gonna meet and talk about a Facebook ad or something at my house on Tuesday morning and 4 people show up, we're only having coffee. We're not talking about that thing. If I know 4 people are showing up, that's 72 hours ahead of time, I post it that we will be having it, and I ain't gonna expect that anybody who wants to walk in my house have coffee.
But there's so many things that you can do with the working committee. You can do a rough draft, and you can bring it back to your total committee, or you can bring it back to this committee. Resource guide, same thing. You know, there's just so many more things we can do.
So my committee, I have Donna and I have Christie, but Christie doesn't count. She doesn't vote. Right? That's what Christie said.
Well,
But
Under the Brown Act.
Well,
so if Donna
That's
and I,
correct.
if only Donna and I meet, then we, that's a hot, or is that standing or ad hoc?
Is it
It's
ad
an ad
If
hoc.
they two show up and I
That's
have
right.
4,
It's, then it's a, then we can talk about
even
it.
if I know that all
So
of
we
them
have
are
to
going
send
to show
somebody
up, we
around.
have to do
We,
it.
and you don't really need to notify everybody. If you're just having, a working committee, you don't notify
If
everybody.
I literally want to talk to just whom about this thing that we want to put into play, we can get together and talk about how are we doing, this is what we doing, yeah, this is going to be a great plan. And then we bring it to all of you and say, this is what we came up with, what do you think?
The problem with your committee is that before that, you can do this, and we put on our own timeline, and we don't even let them know.
Right. But we don't make a decision to say we're absolutely doing it this way until we bring it to all of you and you all agree.
Right, which is really the same, it's the facts.
Has to be posted, it has to be through all the ground.
And public comment and anybody can show up and everybody has to know what's happening.
Gloria, I think I forgot you. Okay. Now, is there anything else that we need to clarify? Because we need to really, I want to go down each
But how
committee.
many of you are meeting
Who
you?
says she just wants to get parents for
But I think if you are putting together these meetings, what's the best that will help us with the meetings? Or maybe there's a reason why you choose one, even regardless of how many people show up. If you want to give the public the opportunity to be there, that's always. For example, this year we will at some point have to get public input on our local plan and we'll have it revised and ready to go. So there are reasons why sometimes you absolutely want to or have to have a ground.
And there's no attempt to keep the community from having input. And if you want to have a total meeting every time, I mean, the chair, that's fine. Nobody's keeping you from doing it. We just want to do two things. One, make it easier to work on the projects we want to get done to help special ed parents and community members and special ed kids. One. And two, we want to have community input. I mean, we want community input. So, now.
So I can do the usual, which I'd like to send the invitation online to my committee plus all of our CEC. And then from there I would ask which are good times for you and would give it your interests. Then from there I can get how many people are coming. And if I do have before, then I will go to and post that, right? Okay.
If you want to work it that way,
If I want to work it that way,
if you want to work it that way, absolutely.
But it wouldn't be a good idea to just have people just apply to you, because otherwise we're going to engage in certain meetings and everybody's going to all just apply to you.
Right. Right. And if you're having a working committee, only invite 2 or 3. I mean, if it's just a working committee, because they're concerned. If somebody else just shows up and it's 4, then you can't do it.
Well, because I know I respect Donna's time. I know for many of our CECs, 11, 12 in the morning was actually really good. And but we always respect, and I know she would be here.
Right.
But I know that for my committee, I'm going to try to alternate evenings and morning. But I know that morning work very well for most. So what I want to do is, I want to have that opportunity to have as many, because there's just a lot of work. And 2 people, it's just not fair to do for just 2 people. We all have so much good input, so I just would like to do that all.
But follow the procedure if it's, and it's no attempt to try to get around anything. We just want to make it easier and we want community input.
It's one option if there's certain kinds of
Okay, now let's,
Sorry.
oh, I'm sorry.
So do I need to choose a committee?
Oh, yes, or more. You can choose one. I'm going to go down each committee.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll make sure that the people that are on it want to be on it, and we'll add anybody that wants to be added. Okay, let's go for public information and membership committee. We have Sharon is the chairperson, and now we have, okay, but not as a chairperson.
No, she's
Yeah, okay.
a parent.
Edith, you still want to be?
Number 2 on that.
Okay. Donna, you're off?
Right.
Okay. And Christy, you're on?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What's the difference between a parent versus a chair? What is the difference between one being a chair and the parent being what?
parent representative, parent.
She's a board member. She's a board member.
Oh,
She- That's right.
That's okay.
And Edith is, no, that's fine. No, that's fine. Okay, anyone else want to be on the public information and membership? Okay, Gloria? Now, no recruiting.
Yes.
Okay, Parent and Community Education Committee. Edith is the chairperson. Donna? Yes. And Christy? And, okay, great. Now, these 2 committees, and I shouldn't say, I mean, every committee has a lot of work, and Christy's going to have a lot of work this year. And the art and music is unbelievable work. But the first 2 committees have a lot of projects they could work on. It's up to you. Nobody's going to tell you that you have to work on any of them. It's up to you. But if you want to share, I mean, the one committee has 3 things that they've talked about. And if you want to give one of those to the other committee, you're on both. So that's fine, we can just talk about that. Okay, local plan review and legislative
I just
committee.
wonder, who's the parent that I have? Do I have any parents?
Other parents,
I want to know what it entails.
Well, it's right there. You know, this year, I see this year with the parent committee, I think we did a lot last year, and we're in a very good track. We're already halfway probably with the work that we're doing. But I think that your input is extremely valuable, and it's because you have, obviously, it's a huge district, and from the president, we just developed presentations for our speakers, the resource guide underneath, there are articles, and I mean, it is quite a bit, but we kind of already halfway through. So, but I really feel I need to
Kumku is.
April presentation.
April.
Share more on that. I like that, yeah. And I want to echo Edith by saying that, the first two really are like big goals of literally the state WESELPA, mission and the CAC. So I think it would be nice if we had it. I think Edith has already said, maybe not everyone, but she does want the input of a lot of people. So it might land up being a Brown Act meeting, so we can all be.
And I also feel like, and
limitation.
Liz, I love you, you know that, but it just feels really hard when we have one person in 3 or 4 committees and then one person's only in one. I think we need to just stretch it a little more, and if we could be in half of the committees, like 2 committees at least.
Are you asking Elizabeth if she?
I think it would be.
I'm just trying to, because I'm part of other things too, so
Okay.
I don't.
Okay, we don't want to push it.
But
But this is a
person
really
like me,
But it's
where I
not
don't always have that opportunity to know, but you would still, if you have input, you can get.
And if you can't make it to the meeting, we'll still have the meeting, but it gives a good experience for all of us. Because if you happen to be the chair for next year, you've already been in the committee, you know how to run, so now, feel, that we need as many people as possible. You can't make it. So,
Okay. Elizabeth, may we add your name?
Well.
No, wait, just say no. I won't put any more pressure. Won't put any more pressure.
On this committee, does it involve driving a lot and going?
oh, no, we have meetings only one place that we developed, just we talk about who's going to be our speaker, and so on, so it doesn't. That's why you need to be there, so you can find out.
Yeah, but if you specifically mention to her the projects that
Yeah,
you're
the
planning
projects
to
that we
run.
have, for example, we already have 2 presentations developed, which we won't have to work at those. We have the IEP presentation here and the Common Core. Now we will need to develop the April one, but we already have themes and what parents suggested from last year's survey. So we'll look from there, we'll all talk and come up with suggestions of speakers. And that's why I think you're so valuable, because I don't want to see how many speakers. And then we do, we're gonna develop the resource book. Well, we already have over 100 and something resources with emails, phone numbers, and I'm putting them all together. All we have to do is categorize and add a few more and just put it together, which is almost just type it in. And then the newsletter, well, that's pretty much only the chair people who get to give their article at the end of either the January or May. But you don't have to worry about that, so, and those are the 2 things.
What a great salesperson. Boy, we need to sell
I just
anything.
wanted to, I know,
Yeah.
sure.
Is that okay then? Okay.
Cheesecake and everything. And she's
You forgot the most important part.
And she brings great stuff.
And Christy can tell you that I bring food.
I know where the food is.
Okay, local plan review and legislative committee. Oh, Gloria?
Oh, I was just wondering, if I just went with one thing for now, could I add on later?
Oh,
Just 'cause I
we're
wanna see exactly how
absolutely.
this is all-
No, it's tonight or never. Absolutely. Just let us know. Just
Okay,
let us know.
maybe later on,
Sure.
we'll add, but
Absolutely.
let's see what it entails.
No, that's.
Well, you can still attend,
Exactly.
even if you're not a committee member.
Okay.
Because Edith will send it out to everybody.
Oh, perfect.
I'm gonna have this meeting, if you're available, come, if you're not, that's okay.
Okay, yeah.
She has great stuff there, and she loves to have people come to work on the things that she's working on, so. Okay, local plan review and legislative committee?
Now with this one, my plan is to do something a little different, to go out to legislators. And not necessarily to be promoting certain legislation, because there isn't really much right now, but just for them to know who we are, just to introduce ourselves, and the ones that are around
Great.
in our South area.
And thank you, Christie, because we've been intending to do this for a long time, but it's never happened. Maybe it will. I would like to be a parent of that committee.
Okay, all right, great. And, okay, Elizabeth?
Great.
And Donna, okay? Okay. and-
It'd be nice to invite them here to the meeting.
All right, okay.
We
Anyone
have
else?
had a representative from
Karen?
here to a couple of the superintendent conferences, but not to see anything so far. They're close.
Anybody else? Art and writing contest, Mo is not here, so is it okay? The people that we have on there right now, is that okay?
You need to remind me of the district. You have to be-
Yes.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
I mean, I know I will help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, Sharon?
I'm curious to have Gloria or Liz ever attended that event?
No, but I've been to something similar to it.
The art and writing contest, I was amazed because last year was my first year with WESELPA. We had 400 people down there, 500 in an auditorium at a middle school in OMSD. And it was a fabulous event. They posted all of the art along the walls, and we had some students doing some live performances. They had cookies and everything for the families. And then the big draw is that we had Disney dollars, and so every kid that came up and got a certificate for their art, they got their name in a bowl, and then at the end of the evening, they pulled out who actually was the person who got to go to Disney. And so it's just a huge, fantastic event, but it takes an incredible amount of work. And so it wouldn't hurt to have everybody. But even if people aren't on the committee,
Exactly.
you will that night.
Oh, yeah, we all help. We all, yeah. And, you know, if you haven't been to one, please go. Just to see, I don't care about what the art, but to see the parents and to see the kids. Oh, they were so excited. I handed out books. I want to hand out books again because you get to see every one of them. You get to see all.
The district actually got a publisher
It's
to
just-
donate enough books that they gave every student a packet of books. And your daughter, Zana, and then we had a video of Superman that was pretty
Oh, yes.
incredible. And that little boy played the piano. It was just a
But if you're not feeling good, that's the place to be. Oh, it will lift you up and it will stay with you for a while. It's just.
And my words to you guys would be to encourage your teachers
Oh, yeah.
to get involved.
And to come to
Get those
see.
kids doing whatever that, you know.
Can you imagine the teachers that didn't go if they would have been there to see that enthusiasm, the excitement, the energy? It just.
So we had some artwork and writing pieces that they left for us to post on our walls. And so when you go up the second floor, you know, right around our office, all those walls are filled. And I guess this is to art and writing contest submissions from last spring.
And it's a good place to also recognize art teachers.
Yes.
Exactly. We did that because
How many were recognized professionals?
rather than a whole group of them that day.
Fill the stage.
A great place to recognize. And
And
I love the art
County
which was
Superintendent.
added, I love that you added the art pictures to our newsletter.
Yes.
Which we'll do again this, every single newsletter, which was so great.
I'm sure with, after Sanford, and I said it would be nice if we could send it to our special parents so they know. Is that okay if he does that, or does it?
Well,
Oh,
so
no.
so we've sent that out electronically, and it can be forwarded anywhere. We can't afford to send 15,000 colored copies out, you can imagine, that just, we can't do. But if it could get posted on websites for districts, or if it could get sent out to parents.
Yeah, but the districts can send it out to anybody and everybody.
I'm on Facebook.
Now,
Or you check out, no, unless you're there.
now this is what I'd like to ask the chairpersons of the committees at the next business meeting. Now, nothing, I don't want to object to you, I don't want anything like that, but just to report on kind of what you think you're going to do this year. And if something isn't done, you're not going to get evaluated or anything. anymore, okay? But just, what do you feel like you want to do? And short and nice like the district presentations. No, it doesn't have to be formal. Just, what are you thinking about doing? And you don't have to even meet. I mean, you don't. If you meet with your committee, great, but don't feel like you have to. You can be from your heart and then your committees later when you do meet.
I have a question immediately on mine. I don't know if this can even be answered. But one of the things that my committee would do is to try to fill this table. But, so do I have to wait then until November to bring it to the CAC for everybody to say yes, try to fill the table? Or is that something I could do even by myself without, just send a little something to the districts to say, please, if you haven't already, you're invited to?
As long as we stay within the guidelines of the committee and you work with Susan.
Right, so
Yeah.
none of you should be the direct go to the districts.
Yes.
That you could send us the chair's message of this committee, and I could then forward it to the districts or something
Okay,
like
and
that.
that got you
But I
for
should be the
November.
direct go to.
Yes, but work with Susan on that.
All right.
Anything else on committees?
Since we have a few more people sitting around this table, it's less work for me personally, so. Just kidding.
The next thing is the October presentation in the flyer.
And thank you, Gloria, pointed out that I started it, and it's missing a little bit more on the description. I think I was meant to send it to you to fill in anything else, so I will definitely get into it once.
That's that first paragraph.
Yes.
Okay. And a similar presentation last year really brought out a lot of parents. They were very, very, very interested. And of course, education is always something new. We keep changing and changing and changing, and of course, something new. And so we want to be sure that parents understand that. Did you want to?
Well, the IEP is at the heart of what we do a lot in special ed, because it's the contract that spells out what services your child is going to receive. So I think it's just really helpful for parents to understand those forms. It can be kind of overwhelming. And the process, so that, goes right along with the discussion. So I think they're really enjoying it.
So to double check, Karen, you will teach the IEP work in the Spanish, you will teach IEP, and the Spanish one where it says
Instead of being.
Detenimiento de las nuevas formas de IEP. We always do IEP because our Spanish parents,
No, because on the
go by
IEP,
IEP.
on the forms it's found there, and that's why they always do.
Oh, I can't see that. But when they ask for translation, when I do only IEP, translate, so I think it would be a good idea to keep IEP. I just know that for DPs, it is super nice to parents. I believe it's also Spanish. But I really have never, when I see now it's kind of harder.
And I think it's technical, it's just that at the top of the form, I'm sure it says, I haven't looked at it, but our Spanish translation of the forms, I'm sure it says.
Yeah, I think they're just so used to saying, just so easy to say, ¿qué es esto?
Maybe we could put it
IEP, because they might think it's something else and they might think it's just an account. Right.
Unless it's spelled out.
Why don't we say, entiende las nuevas formas de educación
That's better.
individual, IEP.
Yes, perfect.
Me either.
Like in the bottom, it is like,
Why do people look at it and say?
You don't look like you speak Spanish, that's
Sí, una pregunta. ¿Tiene razón la señora Edith? Que yo dije, ¿qué es esto?
I
Porque yo
figured out
siempre
what this
pido
is because I always
IEP.
ask for an IEP.
Y otros papás no lo van
And
a
other
entender.
parents will not be able to understand that.
Tiene razón.
There's always asked as an
Pónganlo, pongan
IEP.
igual.
Pero tenemos un vamos a poner IEP, pero vamos a decir las palabras porque en la la forma dice plan de educación.
Ok, gracias.
Solo vamos a tener los dos.
Ok, gracias. Gracias.
Anything else on the flyer?
I have a question. Can I bring a door prize, a couple of door prizes, so we can get little tickets to people who come? Would that be okay with a raffle?
Sure, absolutely.
It's your.
Yeah, you organize it, we'll help. No, seriously, if you organize, we'll help.
Okay, yeah, just to,
Now, do you want that advertised on the flyer?
Oh, yeah.
Want another flyer?
or pardon me?
You want the raffle on the flyer? I think it'd be a good idea if you want to know about it.
Or you could try it one time, and if it worked real well and it was easy to organize, then you could have it on future flyers. I don't want to put too,
Well, my committee is here, you guys, so what do you guys say?
Well, I think it's great, but, we're asking you to organize it.
Just a couple of prices.
And,
But the question is, did you say you wanted it at?
You wanted to have it?
First time round, or you want to?
or you want to try it.
Maybe we should, just to see if they might, ¿Qué opina usted? ¿A usted le gustaría que estuviera aquí, que dijera que va a haber un regalo, un premio? Una rifa, ¿le gustaría si le llevaría la atención?
Sí.
¿Le gustaría?
Yo pienso que sí.
Yes. I think so. She would like it. As a parent, I would get flattered. This reference would be able to call it drawing. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, sorteo.
Sorteo.
Yeah. I was looking for the Spanish word, thank you.
That was why.
We cannot say draw, giveaway. We can say
Right.
giveaway.
Yeah.
Draw.
Now, back to the question, is there anything that babysitting?
No.
We haven't had babysitting,
Susan, I was gonna bring it up, talk about, the West End, as of June 30th, no longer has funds, and they're not, remember that program you suggested last year for funds for attending meetings? So there's no funding for that any longer. So I don't know if we wanted to revisit that as a possibility for healthcare. We are going to discuss it, he does it for their meetings, possibility.
And while she's writing that on the parking lot, I had talked to Karen before the meeting, and she said it was okay for me to say that she will make the corrections on the standing committees and send that out to all of us. That's okay, right, Karen? Yeah, okay. That's okay. All right. Child care. And let's go right on to the parking lot. That's our only item. Yes, Kristen.
But maybe folder.
That's what I'm saying.
Anything? Yes. Okay.
I can email Sharon about possibility of her committee, but it might not be her committee, another committee, doing a Facebook page for the community advisory committee. I'd write her examples of other CACs that have a Facebook page. You can really do it for using us to parents and getting the word out about events and things like that. So it doesn't have to be your committee, you just want to do that, another committee can take it on,
Right.
and maybe we just complete. But,
Why don't we put that on the parking lot and we can see where, and Susan, maybe Susan, Sharon, and talk about it. Yeah, right. Okay, let's put it on there to discuss whether we want one or not. Okay.
The other thing is, adding the contact information via email address, whatever people are comfortable with, or if just a name, if you're not comfortable with writing anything else, people that are on the CC, and, which districts are from and all of that. Maybe